Before the British government took direct control, Nigeria was managed by a corporation. Enter the Royal Niger Company colonization for profit. Led by Sir George Goldie, this corporate empire used private armies and gunboats to ruthlessly crush any local competition, monopolizing the global trade of palm oil. Their weapon of choice? Deceptive treaties. Local chiefs signed pieces of paper they couldn't read, unknowingly surrendering their land's sovereignty for cheap trade goods. When the corporate monopoly starves the people of Nem Brass, King Koko strikes back in 1895, leading a daring, bloody raid on the company's headquarters. But corporate warfare becomes too messy. On January 1st, 1900, the British government buys out the company's territories for £865,000, turning corporate assets into protectorates. We travel back into the early half of the 19th century, where grand African civilizations still rule the interior. In the West, the legendary Oyo Empire stands as a geopolitical colossus, powered by a formidable cavalry and an intricate system of constitutional checks and balances. The Elephant of Oyo commands respect across West Africa, but the foundations are rotting from within. Internal rivalries, military rebellions, and civil wars begin to tear the great Yoruba Empire apart from the inside. Meanwhile, in the north, a massive revolution is unfolding. In 1804, Islamic scholar Usman Dan Fodio launches a holy war against corrupt local kings. Out of the dust of war rises the Sokoto Caliphate, the largest empire in 19th century Africa, uniting millions under a single legal, spiritual, and educational system. By 1835, the collapse is complete. Old Oyo falls, sparking a massive multi-decade refugee crisis and a brutal scramble for power across the Yoruba hills. Out of the chaos, a new kind of city is born. Ibadan rises as a military sanctuary, a republic of fierce warriors, where status is earned by the sword, not by royal blood. The nature of warfare changes forever. Traditional spears and bows are replaced by thousands of European firearms, flooding in from the coast in exchange for resources. This culminates in the Kiriji War, the longest civil war in Yoruba history. For 16 years, over 400,000 warriors are locked in a bloody stalemate. Exhausted by war, the factions accept British mediation in 1886. But the peace treaty is a trap. It opens the interior directly to British annexation. We push back to the early 1800s. The British Empire outlaws the Atlantic slave trade and deploys naval warships to blockade the West African coast. The global economy shifts. Human cargo is replaced by a new liquid gold palm oil needed desperately to lubricate the machinery of Europe's industrial revolution. When Oba Kosoko of Lagos refuses to abandon the slave trade and accept British economic terms, the Royal Navy bombards the island in 1851, replacing him with a puppet king. 10 years later, the puppet show ends. Lagos is formally annexed as a crown colony. The strategic gateway to the entire subcontinent is now locked under British ownership. But as the 19th century began, the interior remained vast, proud, and completely unconquered, a land of ancient laws, deep spiritualities, and borders yet unbroken.